Mr. General, how big is the current threat from Russia if we talk about the Lithuania security now?
I would like to go back to the 2022 February. So before the Russian invasion into Ukraine, there was one Russian threat, the one composition of the Russian threat, and the quality and quantity of Russia. Now, after more than 3 years war happening, we need to take into very serious account that Russian armed forces is learning, it's updating their qualities, and it's a very different Russia, and the threat is very different comparing with 3 years ago. And because of the Lithuanian geographical location, which is unfavorable for us, sitting between Kaliningrad and Belarus, we're really serious taking into account that it is a different Russia, which was 3 years ago.
So what's happened basically on the Lithuanian-Belarusian border? Because we saw many reports about the possible, rebuilding the military equipment from the Belarusian and de facto Russian side. That you see that the increasing threat, especially if you talk about the September exercise Zapad 25.
First of all, Belarusian armed forces as such, their rhetoric is increasing. But the biggest challenge is that the integration of Belarusian and Russian armed forces, they became a one entity under the rule of the Russian side. There is a speculations about the possible non-nuclear tactical weapons being placed in the Belarus. There is always in Belarus Russian Air Force parts of being over there. So this being together in one place, it's even increasing the threat. So from our perspective, when we see the Belarus, we see that from that direction, Russia will have no problems and no obstacles to launch any aggressive actions if it will be necessary against Lithuania and against the NATO territory.
In Poland, we discuss a lot about the Suwalski gap. So what is the Lithuanian perspective? That from your perspective, this is very dangerous point that the Russia and Belarus could start some kind of, hybrid, warfare against Poland and Lithuania, could really cut the Lithuania from the border connection between the other NATO states?
First of all, Suwalki gap, or the corridor actually, it's a very vital and important land, and it's not only for Lithuania. And you mentioned rightly that it's a question of, first of all, Poland and Lithuania working together on defending that gap and working on this one. Currently, I'm really happy with the Polish and Lithuanian armed forces cooperation, especially on this issue. Nevertheless, when we're saying how that terrain could look like, we need to be sure that, as one good example, the Baltic defense line and the Eastern Shield on the Polish side, we are getting close and getting connected. That will allow us to put the counter-mobility assets in the place and deterring the threat which could be coming from the Belarus side towards the Suwalki corridor.
How long Lithuania can defend themselves in the scenario of the full-scale Russia invasion? And as I understand, Poland is one of the most important countries who can give the help in this kind of scenario, right?
Absolutely, and the cooperation between our countries goes back historically, and we have very, very good and positive history with that. And that, of course, helps us to get together and to be at the spot solving this possible problem of the aggression. First of all, from the Lithuanian armed forces perspective, we have very clear plans right now to develop our infantry division to the full operational capability in the next 5 years. The government allocated necessary percentage of the defense spending on this. The procurement plans and the systems are in place, so we are on a good track with this one. The second bit, which is very important, is integration. Integration of Lithuanian armed forces, and first of all with the Polish armed forces. Having a common plan how to react to this kind of aggression. The plan is in place, the plan being rehearsed and exercised annually. So we are both sides, Lithuanian and Polish side, we are confident that if will happen something, we will be ready to go against aggression and to stop the Russia invading Lithuania, Poland, or any NATO territory.
And the last question about the general security also at the Baltic Sea, that we saw that the increasing number of the incidents, including the maybe Russia or Chinese ships, that you see also this rising numbers of some kind of threats also in the near future, if you talk about the Baltic security?
First of all, I do agree that the Baltic Sea region security, or the Baltic Sea as such, was underwater infrastructure, was at risk until NATO launched Operation Baltic Sentry. And if we look right now at the statistics from the launch of the Baltic Center, of the NATO reaction towards what's happening, it was drastical reduction of the incident in the Baltic Sea. What does it mean? It means that the NATO alliance, the Baltic Sea region countries, we are working together and we are able to produce the deterrence and defense effect. So from my perspective, right now we stabilize the situation in the Baltic Sea. We are very good in the cooperation and exchanging the maritime picture, what is happening in the Baltic Sea. And the most important part is the NATO-launched Baltic Center operation gives the results and effects for the Baltic Sea security.
Thank you.